Oh, yeah. 97.3. Come on. Let's go.
Traffic Avenue.
City 97.3. Accra.
94, 95, 96, 97.3 City FM. It doesn't get any better than that.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 1700 GMT. This is 97.3 City FM. You're welcome to Eyewitness News. Eyewitness News is a 2-hour-long radio program that offers you great interviews, analysis, and news summaries. There's also the Talkback segment where we'll be hearing your views. Coming up over the next 2 hours tonight.
I know I've done a lot for the good people of Greater Accra. I said expectations are high though, but I think I've done a lot that I deserve that recognition. And so to God be the glory. I've tackled sanitation within Greater Accra region, chieftaincy dispute, street lights, boundary issues, even flooding within the Greater Accra.
Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklu defends receipt of controversial Best Regional Minister Award as President Mahama directs appointees to refrain from receiving similar awards. Also coming up, doctors at the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital in Kumasi continue with strike over the suspension of the hospital CEO. The patients are the victims.
Yes, sir. Sawuti and Kai. Yes, sir. Boy, na bra chwa ni na bra be reji. The head yes wa hana ya bra. Komfo na de down the form omu we. Yes, sir. Bra. And then chira ya. Yes, sir. I want to nka say wo ye bibiama.
And later on Eyewitness News, Accra, a city affected by flooding and building collapse. We have an update of the events from the weekend. I am Umaru Sandamari, your host for Eyewitness News tonight. Send your messages later for Talkback via WhatsApp number 0539 986 996 0539 986 996. And on X, you can mention me at Umaru Sanda or at City 973 using the hashtag Eyewitness News. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 City FM. I am Umaru Sandamadu, and tonight we have a number of stories that we'll be dealing with. We start off with the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital, where the Minister for Health, the Honorable Kwabena Mintah Kando, announced a few days ago that the CEO of the hospital had been suspended over some actions over his. Now, subsequent to that, we saw a number of issues coming up subsequent, and this includes the decision of the doctors to embark on a strike, and the nurses have also embarked on a strike. Now, this means that the hospital, or the Ashanti regional, or the biggest hospital in the Ashanti region, may well grind to a halt if things continue the way they are. We have over the past few hours seen a statement from the Ministry of Health explaining that the doctors, their action was surprising, and a number of issues arising thereof. We'll be speaking to the people who are in the mix of things, and also be hearing from the patients who are having difficulties accessing healthcare at the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital. If you are a person living in the Ashanti region who went to the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital, let me know what you feel and how you feel relating to what happened. If you are interested in our healthcare infrastructure, let me know what you make of the situation there. Is it a case of the government being heavy-handed on the CEO, or it is a matter of doctors refusing to obey the disciplinary procedure or respect the disciplinary procedure as has been issued? In fact, one of the unions that issued or announced a strike is the Health Service Workers Union of TUC, the Special edition at Kath, Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, and they issued a statement and they said suspension of the Chief Executive Officer of Konfanochi Teaching Hospital and matters arising. The Konfanochi Teaching Hospital branch of the Health Services Workers Union has taken note of a recent development in the hospital with grave concern. We wish to state that the suspension of the Chief Executive Officer of Kath and the directive that the Kath board should investigate the hospital's public relations officer constitute an overreach that has worsened an already difficult situation at the hospital. Accordingly, we demand the following: immediate review and reversal of the suspension of the CEO, immediate cessation of any directive for the Kath board to investigate the hospital's public relations officer in relation to this matter, and urgent attention should be given to addressing the congestion at the accident and emergency. It says further that we wish to place on record our unwavering support for the CEO and the PRO of the hospital. The members of the union are ready to take further action if our stated demands are not met. So that is one of many. This is Douglas Kusi signing that statement on behalf of the Health Workers Union at Kath. Sami Wiafi is my colleague here in the studio, and we'll talk about the statement that came from the Ministry of Health. Sami, you have been looking through the ministry's statement. Can you tell us more?
Well, the Ministry of Health, as you mentioned, also issued a statement in relation to the same happenings at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. And that particular statement, Sanda, is signed by Mr. From the Public Relations Unit of the Ministry of Health. And that is how the statement starts. It says that the Ministry of Health finds the turn of events at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital unfortunate, where members of the Konfanochi Doctors Association and Nurses Chapter that have embarked on a strike action following an administrative decision taken against the Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Parkway Sibedu, of the hospital for non-compliance with established administrative procedures relating to the closure of a public health facility. This is the decision to suspend the CEO of the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, who is an appointee of His Excellency the President, John Dramani Mahama, was carefully considered and taken into in the interest of the institutional accountability, patient safety, and the need to uphold administrative discipline within the health sector. The third point says it is important to place on record that the suspension arose from the public announcement of cessation of admission into the accident and emergency unit, which is inconsistent with the directive of His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama regarding access to emergency healthcare services. It says, for the avoidance of doubt, this has nothing to do with the internal arrangement agreed between the hospital and the Ashanti Regional Health Directorate. Further, he was suspended from the administrative head of the hospital and not as a medical officer of the hospital. Sana, what this means is that he can go about his normal duty as a medical doctor or a medical officer, but just that he's been suspended as the head of the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital or the CEO of the hospital. Okay, so I see in there that the ministry tries to make the point that the president gave a directive, which directive has been defied, and that the CEO is an appointee of the president as CEO, not as a medical doctor. Yes. Let's get a few perspectives to this matter. Dr. Nana Uefrie is a doctor. I was going to say private medical practitioner. I think that's correct. He's also the ranking member on the health committee, MP for Ifiduasi Asokori in the Ashanti region. Doc, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. I'm sure you're very familiar with the workings of the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. The professionals who are not resigning, but embarking on the strike are saying that the minister and the ministry overreached by deciding to suspend the CEO over comments that were made. The doctors and the professionals on the other side say, listen, the doctor or the CEO simply called a spade, and he should not be punished for that. Where do you stand as a practitioner and also as a lawmaker?
Yeah, thank you, and a very good evening to your listeners. The minority position myself, of course, is that we support the call by the doctors. We think suspending the CEO over this issue that has been recurring over and over one kind that the government is in a position to provide solution to it, but it's not doing so because obviously I don't think health is a priority in this regard. So they should not be a scapegoat. We don't think the health worker should be a scapegoat. Why? Because the place has a capacity. You have crossed the capacity. After crossing the capacity, they've made some moral judgment, and the moral judgment is admitting people on the floor. So if the capacity is 37, the moral judgment here is that we have to admit to 61 and some on the floor. And they are saying that there's a waiting over 30 people that we cannot admit them. So we have to close it, decongest, and continue admission. I don't think we should scapegoat them. The onus is on government to have provided temporary positions. And that was last month. It happened in Kolebu. We said that on the immediate, let's have some tents, have some beds, ICU equipments, not too expensive. You can even credit them. So if you are going to credit them, it can solve the issue of emergency congestions in the tertiary hospitals. That has not been done. It's about a month now. That is on the immediate. On the medium term, you look at the Agenda 101 hospitals and see to completion of those hospitals, and also partnering with some private hospitals to be able to aid with admissions. All these things, we've been able to provide alternative solutions. Because you see, there are a lot of private hospitals that government can decide to do a PPP with. Why are we saying that? Okay, government will hire some staff for you to be in the private hospitals. In emergencies, we'll try and decongest for you to have those cases that can be discharged or near discharge. And then we can make beds available in public facilities. None of this has been done. So for you to ostracize a certain health worker, mind you, he's a CEO, but he's a medical doctor who still goes to the theater to work. So they don't see him as a CEO, they see him as part of them. So that is why they are showing solidarity. So for us, we think they are justified. Again, our position is also clear. We're not going to provide support with a blank check in a manner that if Ghanaians are suffering and they are dying, we are going to say that we are going to continuously support the health workers, because life loss is irreversible and there is no problem that cannot be solved. This problem can be solved overnight. So how about the life we have lost? So the minority's considerate position is that, yes, indeed, doctors, you are right, but get to work and allow us to speak to the issues.
So you're saying that they should suspend their strike, but you agree with their position?
Absolutely. That's the position of the minority.
But should they have even gone on the strike in the first place? Is that not amounting to the disobeying administrative procedure, where if someone engages in what the appointer believes to be indiscipline or disrespect or disregard or defiance, they be punished by suspension and investigation?
But if not for this, how would we have gotten attention or drawn attention of the public, and for that matter, everybody, to what is going on in Kompanoche? There are several means to which people use to draw attention to their issues. And one of them is this, because for me, suspending the CEO over this issue, which has been lingering on for a very long time, is unnecessary show of force. And that is why they are also trying to say that in our work rule, we also have a means to be able to complain. And one of them is we are drawing the attention to the public to is strike. Strike actions has been part of the health sector from time immemorial. And that is a very sensitive area. That's the truth. So some of these things, we should also know that workers in that area have some tools, and some of the tools that they've resorted to in the past is strike actions.
You have mentioned you mentioned a solution to this issue, one of them being PPP. I would come back and ask you for more. If you could just indulge me, I want to speak to your colleague on the other side and return to you. So that's Dr. Nana Uefree I'm engaging. Let me speak to Dr. Mark Nawani. He is the chairman of the Health Committee of Parliament and MP for NAPDAM. Doc, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
To your listeners, yes, and viewers.
If you were in charge of a hospital like Kompanoche Teaching Hospital, you were a doctor, and you noticed that the hospital was full to capacity and you were captain of a ship, the best option is to jettison some people. Would you do it in the manner that this CEO has done? Or you would have admitted the people knowing you don't have the capacity to do so?
Okay, let me start by saying that what has happened is quite an unfortunate development, and that when it started, I just thought that it was just a redirection of the patients to other facilities to assist the hospital decongest. But later on, I heard of also the suspension of the services. And somewhere along the line, I also heard that they have resumed services. That is, within 24 hours, I heard that they have resumed services. And I asked myself, but if you could resume services in 24 hours, then what was the essence of announcing the suspension? I thought that if that was supposed to be the case, then probably there could be a way of managing the situation for that number of hours, because it was less than 24 hours before I heard of that resumption. Whatever the situation, whatever that has happened, a lot of water has gone under the bridge. And I am calling on both sides, that is the Ministry of Health, and then the Confederation Teaching Hospital, to sit down and dialogue. They can still solve this problem. The minister directed the board to carry out a function on his behalf, and I'm yet to hear what the board is saying. Indeed, I'm hoping that the board will come out, because the board also has some function to perform here, and that is why the minister did not go straight forward to just suspend the CEO, but to the board. That is the procedure. Let's hear what the board also has got to say under such circumstances, and let us use the institutions that have been provided for such purposes. The Select Committee of Parliament, I've heard a ranking speak, is on standby. In Parliament, we are a separate arm of government, and with the theory of separation of powers, we don't most often go immediately into employer-employee relationships, etc. But of course, for now, the ordinary Ghanaian is suffering. The patients in Kumasi and its environs are suffering, and as representative of the people, we probably have to think of what to do next. That is what is happening now.
But their strike has drawn attention to their plight, and perhaps an action would be taken. That is the view of your colleague on the other side, and that you can't, as a doctor in good conscience, admit people more than you can treat. You can't bite more than you can chew, literally.
Yes. Actually, that's what I'm saying. That they had a capacity of 37 and they had admitted 61, and so there was the need to redirect the patients to other facilities. Indeed, Confederation Teaching Hospital even have a program called mentorship, where highly specialized doctors go to the periphery to assist the doctors there to perform some of the operations, to take care of some of the emergencies that they do have. And I was thinking that this was a way of triggering, to trigger that program of mentorship to the other facilities. Say that in the long run, you upgrade their skills and their ability to also handle those emergencies. With what has happened, I must say that let us get over it as soon as is practicable. I'm not going to talk of some other measures that we need to put in place now, but let us sit down and dialogue. I believe that when they dialogue, they should have a solution.
I'll have one more question for you, but I want to hear Dr. Free. You were trying to say something.
The minority solution of getting the private sector to partner doesn't mean that the public sector will direct cases to private sector. Okay. I'm saying a partnership.
Okay.
Where
let me just take one more question from him. He's about to board the flight. I'll just take one more question from him, and I'll come back to you if you could just sit down with me.
Right.
Dr. Nawani,
yes,
you came with an agenda to reset this country. You came and met a number of hospitals under construction. 1 year and a half on, maybe it is a failure of government that has resulted in what we saw. If we saw people or somebody dying in Accra as a result of the no bed syndrome, and the president has directed that people should be treated even if he has to be on the floor, and the doctor believes that they have done their best, this is the best that we can. You could possibly think of having tents in the hospital so that people would be treated. That is the question. The question is, you haven't done much in terms of infrastructure to solve this problem. So this poor CEO should not be a victim of your lack of infrastructure development as government.
Let me just be honest with you that the Agenda 111, the initiator, the concept developer who started Agenda 111, that is the 110 hospitals, could not operationalize even a single one before he left power after 5 years of working on Agenda 111. Please let us be honest with ourselves. When we came, we thought that the third one, which they did shortcutting and commissioning, was that simple to just operationalize it. We went to try to operationalize it, and the assessment at that time was that we did 140 million to operationalize Trede. That is the hospital at Trede. When we handed over to them at our military hospital, at 75% in terms of the building, they could not operationalize it in 8 years. Let us be honest with ourselves that if within 1.5 years, this government which was correcting the economy, this government which has said that no, we don't need to borrow that much, that they operated the health sector last year without borrowing. And the donor funds that used to come in, that this previous government had access to. Under President Trump, the donor funds are no more coming. And we've got to manage whatever resources that we have generated internally. And currently we are talking of domestic funding of our healthcare system. And that is what we talk about, the health sovereignty, the health security, the resilience of the health service. These are all based on our ability to depend domestically on our resources. So let us understand the situation that we find ourselves in and know that yes, we have a problem. Of course, the problem is there, but it is not that we want us to increase our debt situation that we found ourselves. Somebody had $400 million, which he could have operated, he could have completed and operationalized about 20 or 30 hospitals. The person decided that, no, I'll spread it over 110 to give 110 contracts. What is the indecent haste in it? Give our 110 contracts. Okay. What did they gain from giving 110 contracts?
Omaru, the chairman, you are not going to leave
we have left a lot of block work.
Dr. Nawani,
in the name of Agenda 111.
Dr. Nawani, do you have a minute to spare? Nana, you are free one to respond to you.
He has.
He's catching a flight, so let me just hear from him first.
No, he has. Omaru, is he contesting the essence
what the
of Agenda 111?
Dr. Free, just hold on.
We are going to work on them.
Dr. Nawani.
We have not abandoned them.
Dr. Nawani.
The last thing the president spoke.
Dr. Nawani, can you hear me?
we are going to work on 20 to 30 of them.
Dr. Nawani, can you hear me, sir?
I'm sure he has no earpiece.
I don't want us to go into that.
It's likely. So even if you speak, he will not be able to. So I want us to get his attention first, and I'll let you respond. So, Dr. Nawani, can you hear me? Hello, Dr. Nawani, can you hear me?
Damage in, damage out.
Hello? Dr. Nawani, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. If you can spare me a minute, your colleague on the other line wants to just say something before you let me.
No, but when I was speaking, I didn't.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. So now I want you to kindly listen to him. He has a question for you. I want you to listen to that question. So if you could just indulge me. Okay. Nana Free, please go ahead.
In an era that the president is touting health sovereignty, that you understand is your own party flagship position. That means that independence in the health sector with finance and infrastructure. Are you saying that a teething issue of locating a district hospital, a state-of-the-art one, in Bole, which is part of the Agenda 111, the Bole is the president's hometown, your own leader of your party. You think it's an error in judgment to have gotten a hospital in Bole and the Agenda 111? Is that what you are saying? And the overall budget for 101 hospital will be 17 billion. That's about $1.45 billion. Your manifesto called for big push, and you are spending 70 billion on roads between 2025 to 2028. And then you will need to spend 17 billion to complete 101 hospitals. And you say you are saying that the Ghanaian is asking for too much.
What you gave Bole was not a hospital.
You don't have one
you gave Bole
the president's
hometown and block,
which is Bole.
So stand and block, and not a hospital. Please, let us correct this issue. What Agenda 111 is that stones, sand, and some blocks were given to so many areas. And that is not, they are not hospitals.
The Agenda 111 are not hospitals. Do you know the content of 111? It has 6 regional hospitals. It has 2 psychiatry hospitals. It will renovate also the Accra Psychiatry Hospital. It has 104.
That was $400 million.
Hospitals, not convention of the PNDC's health integrated hospitals. The very shameful one that we are used to. Are you saying that
for so many people,
modernizing health sector
at different places,
and for that matter, service delivery is an outlier in the face of universal health coverage?
One single hospital.
Attaining accessible and affordable
the current problem that we face.
Vulnerable people.
And the current problem is that
hello, Dr. Nawani.
The teaching hospital workers are on strike, and we are not happy about it. Let us
but we are saying that on the immediate. I call for solutions. I have not heard you to bring any single alternative position. Chairman, I don't think it's grammar here. We're talking about alternative positions, and the minority is saying on the immediate, in the medium term. On the immediate, we are saying that you need to have, just like we said last month in Kolebu, you need to have tents like A&Es with air conditions, one likened to the one they use for those going to Hajj. And then you can have hospital beds in them. And then at the end of the day, in the medium term, you try to complete medium to long term, which is between 2 to 5 years. You complete the Agenda 111. And you are saying, again, you partner with the private health sector. Our roadmap is that get the private health sector on board, get them to admit cases for decongestion. In return, give them some clients, give them some staff, of which government will be responsible for every private hospital who decide to join the scheme. Would have free nurses, government would take care of them. In return, you are going to absorb on that scheme, you absorb clients for us in terms of congestion. And that is our roadmap. What is yours? In the immediate, moderate, and the long term, what is yours?
Dr. Nawani.
Hello.
The question has been put before you. He is talking about a PPP kind of arrangement where private facilities will run services for and on behalf of the government. He wants to know what your alternative solution would be.
I am a product of the private sector myself.
No, I'm not talking about that. Now, we are faced with a situation.
And the private sector is ready to partner the government. We are ready to, in fact, in Accra,
probably you have to be on the flight, and then maybe Omar, probably the pilot leads my friend to come back.
In Accra, in Accra, private hospitals have been identified, and they are part of the process. It is in Kumasi that we are here to probably hook on some hospitals, or they might have been hooked on, but we don't have the knowledge of them. Hello?
Continue, you're on air, sir.
Yes. In Kumasi, we are not aware of them, but in the private sector, in Accra, it has already started. Yes. Maritime Hospital, Bank of Ghana Hospital, they are all part of the process. We to take care of emergencies, Mahama Care, they have all been hooked up. So this is no news that
you mentioned Mahama Care. Mahama Care, our position is that we are against it providing competing position with NHI in payment of providers.
No.
And we are thinking you should bring an amendment so Mahama Care focus entirely on specialist healthcare infrastructure and service delivery and research.
So we are bringing in the private hospital.
And you are talking about one free primary healthcare that nobody understands. And how does it solve the issue of no bed syndrome?
They are identifying the hospital that can be added
Chairman Nawani.
In terms of Mahama Care.
Chairman Nawani.
So all these are ongoing already. It's not something that is new.
Dr. Nawani.
Omaro, you are confusing me and confusing the listeners maybe because I don't seem to get the head and tail of the discussion.
Why?
Honestly.
Because of healthcare.
Dr. Nawani.
Emergency care, of specialist care.
Dr. Nawani.
Yes.
So, specifically, say, Konfanoche Teaching Hospital, what do you propose can be done to expand the place so that we can have more patients being received? Even if it's not Konfanoche, maybe Kumasi, what do you propose, or what's the alternative plan to have everybody attended to?
The plan is clear, and on Konfanoche, that's why when I started, I just started with even the plans of Konfanoche itself. Konfanoche Teaching Hospital, the specialists there, to have mentorship programs starting with Ashanti Regional Hospitals. Where they will go there, use the space that is, let's say, at Mention Hospital, and carry out operations over there. Attend to emergency cases over there. Use the space that is at Sanchuso Hospital and other hospitals that are in Kumasi. Bring in their specialized.
But they are all full up. They are all full up. Suntreso.
Yes.
It's full up. They are all.
Please. They are identified at the meeting. At the meeting with of Teaching Hospital management with the regional director, they identified certain spaces that they could have carried out. So let us know that yes, there were spaces. Okay. Probably not enough, but there were spaces that they could have gone to.
Dr. Nawani, thank you so much.
I'm not against the completion of hospitals, but I'm saying that let us concentrate on the issues now and talk about them instead of trying to make it a very big and gargantuan issue that will involve resources here and there. This is not a resource matter. Something has happened. Let us concentrate. Let us dialogue and get a solution to it.
All right. Thank you so much and wish you a safe flight. That's Dr. Market Nawani. He's chairman of the Health Committee of Parliament. He's also a member of Parliament for NAPDAM. Let me finish with Dr. Nana Iyue-Friye, MP and medical doctor as well. Doc, so you have proposed a PPP, but back to the issue of CATH. What if people lost their lives over the past 24 to 48 hours because doctors have embarked on a strike to make noise about a challenge? So they ended up perhaps leading to the loss of lives. You're killing people to make a point about stopping death.
Are you Umaru?
Yes.
Are you pouring petrol on the fire, or you are attempting to douse it?
No, I'm saying because that we know that health service providers are
in minority
No, because you support
position.
you see, because you support their case that they are making. I'm saying that the decision to embark on a strike, would there have been, and you said that they did that and now they've got the attention. I'm saying that they've got the attention, all right, but people would have died because essential service providers, we do know, are not allowed to embark on a strike in the manner that they have done.
Yes, but Umaru, in the context of the issues, I mean, our position fairly well is what we have stated, that using a sledgehammer to kill an ant was not the immediate position that should have been taken by the minister. And we have agreed with them. We also think that they would have to go back to work. Under the circumstances, we can only appeal to them because, like I said, there have been a lot of strike actions. And then we think that sustaining the strike over a period of time with life loss cannot be replaced. So we are appealing to them. The position now is for us to appeal to them to get back to work. That is the issue at this point. On the immediate, we may have to plead with the doctors to get back to work. So the very public we serve are being caught up in the issue, in the tangle between the egos of two stakeholders. And the only thing we can do as a minority is just to recognize the feeling of the staff and, for that matter, the health workers. And then we can also appeal to them to go back to work. All that things can be resolved. You understand? And I think also that is our position. Umaru, we have no pleasure in, if I may say, the president appointed a CEO. The president can disappoint the CEO at any point in time. All the CEOs who were there were seen to have been linked to the previous regime, MPP. So, what is the pleasure of the minority for any CEO who's working in variance to a call by the president or by the minister? We are okay with that. I mean, the point is that we are worried about the lives that will be lost, and those lives will be irreplaceable. So, at this point in time, with the minority, the only thing we can do is to appeal. And we have been a reasonable minority, unlike the NDC that in time past, they would jump on and be happy about strike actions. You can Google it, the internet don't lie. But the MPP is a reasonable entity. I mean, there's a reasonable group. What pleasure do we derive if we see people die? So unlike the NDC who are happy to say, let the strike linger on the part of us, we are calling for clemency. What else can we do as an opposition party or as a minority?
All right.
Other than identifying with their feeling and asking them to call off the strike. That's all we have in our hands now.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you so much, too.
That's Dr. Nana Iwe-Free. He is MP for Ifidiasia Sokori in the Ashanti region. He's a medical doctor, ranking member on the Health Committee, member of the New Patriotic Party. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Or what you've heard, if you have a view, send messages 0539 986 996, 0539 986 996. And during the talkback segment, after 6:30, we'll be sharing them with the world. Now, when we return, we'll hear from the president's directive on the awards that are given to his appointees and how he intends to deal with that.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Hey, Charlie, these days there are Azan everywhere, and GCB Bank is on the alert to protect your money, so be vigilant. I should share my OTP with you. How can you tell me this story? Masa, one-time PIN will be group work, so don't share. Azan, they say share your PIN for them to help you. Azan, on no link, no click, so free ATM help, say. My friend, look sharp. GCB Bank will never ask for your PIN, OTP, or Ghana card details. Don't fall victim. Think before you click or send anything. Azan Boys Day Street. So DG, call 0800 422 422 toll free or WhatsApp 0202 422 422 when in doubt. Azan is brought to you by GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Are you an HR professional a people manager, a business leader, or someone interested in understanding how organizations achieve results through people? Then join the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management Ghana for the CIHRM 2026 conference under the theme Advancing Human Resource Excellence in Ghana, Leadership, Technology and Governance on 10th and 11th June 2026 at Elisa Hotel, Accra. Register today at www.cihrmghana.org. For bulk tickets, sponsorships and partnerships, contact Adelaide on 0508-822-456 or Audrey on 0508-824-058. CIHRM 2026 conference, shaping the future of HR in Ghana.
Looking for a location that gives your business a competitive edge? Dawa Industrial Zone offers world-class facilities, direct access to major trade hubs, and a thriving business ecosystem. Whether you are setting up in the manufacturing, logistics, or services, our ready-to-use industrial spaces and supportive policies make expansion easy. Visit www.diz-ghana.com or call 055-20-40,000. Dawa Industrial Zone, where businesses thrive.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Over the weekend, there was an award ceremony that has got many people talking. It has to do with an award that was given to ministers of state and CEOs in the Mahama administration. The finance minister was given best minister or best performing minister. The deputy minister for transport was given best deputy minister. There were a few CEOs that were given awards. I've seen the one for the DVLA boss. But the one that perhaps has raised eyeballs and got many people talking is the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Linda Obiniwa Oklu. She was given Best Regional Minister. And people are on social media asking the question, at the time that Greater Accra, and for that matter, Accra is flooding, a regional minister is receiving Best Regional Awards. That might definitely be a joke. So this morning, Sasi Radio in Accra called up the Honorable Linda Oklu, who is my member of parliament for Shai Osudoku, and asked her, what do you feel about this award you've received at the time that Accra is flooding and buildings are collapsing?
My dear, I wasn't surprised of the award I received because sometimes I keep telling people that the little effort you do, when people recognize what you are doing and they give you that recognition, I mean, it empowers you to do more. And so, for me, I know I've done a lot for the good people of Greater Accra. Yes, I expectations are high though, but I think I've done a lot that I deserve that recognition. And so, to God be the glory.
Now, if anyone wanted to ask specifically, Honorable, what have you done for Greater Accra that merits this award? What would you say? Yes, you said you've done a lot. Can you give us a list of some of the things, some of the achievements?
I have tackled sanitation within Greater Accra region. I have tackled chieftaincy disputes within the Greater Accra region. I have tackled street lighting within the Greater Accra region. I have tackled boundary issues within the Greater Accra region. If I want to, break down, I'm not sure we'll leave the studio this morning. And so, for me, I've done a lot. My dear, and you've seen series of my projects. I mean, if it comes to project that has been awarded to Greater Accra, we've not even come there yet. I mean, contract that has, through my regime, has been awarded to Greater Accra, we've not even come there yet. And so, for me, I believe I've done a lot that I deserve that recognition. I mean, if I've done that and people think I deserve, why not? I accept that. So,
okay.
Yes.
Okay. But
and even flooding within the Greater Accra. I mean, I tackled this way back before even we started experiencing this flooding in Greater Accra. And so issues about flooding I also tackled, knowing very well that some of the buildings at Ramsar sites will have effect. I mean, when it rains, I went on and I did a lot of demolition. Hence, I mean, you could see that I keep on saying I have a lot of people that hate me because of this demolition exercise. Sometimes people come to me, regional minister, we attack you personally because you demolished my house, you demolished this, can you give us another chance to, resurrect our buildings at the Ramsar? I say it's a no-go area for me. You see, and so, if I've done all this and people think I deserve a recognition, why not? Why not?
So what was the recognition? What were you given in recognition of your work?
Hey, my dear, I was awarded the best regional minister for 2016.
What did it come with?
2026.
What did it come with? Did it come with any cash prize or something?
No. It never. It's just a recognition. A plug and then citation. That's all.
Okay. Well, your friend, your colleague, Michael Pesa-White, has criticized the award scheme, and he said...
My dear, I will not even allow you to talk about Pesa-White. You know issues between me and Pesa-White. I have defeated Pesa-White 4 consecutive times. And so if Pesa-White thought at a point that because I was recognized, he wants to tarnish are you telling me that Atu 40 who received the award bribed or gave an amount before he received the donation? Ama Kofi Boa, did he paid for it before he was recognized? Ruth Sedo from National Service, did he pay for it? And other dignitaries are able and revered chiefs that honor the program. Are you telling me that they paid for it before they came? My dear, we shouldn't entertain such. My dear, I don't want to use the word on him. But please spare me this. I've gone through a lot yesterday night. I came home 3:30 this morning because of this, my tour at some selected flat pond areas. I'm stressed. I don't want to discuss anything about Pesa-White. If you have personal issues, he should deal with the institutions, not me. If he thinks he should come out with a proof, because I've been monitoring him when he saw that my name came out. The 4 that came out that the possibility that one would be awarded. I saw him coming out with a letter, and people were congratulating him. Pesa-White. So what? If he had received the award, would it have come out with such allegations? What are we talking about? And please, we shouldn't entertain this as a media house. We shouldn't entertain, excuse my language, we shouldn't entertain certain things. We have a lot to do as a country. You have a lot to do to tackle. We have people are dying because of this flooding. We are not sleeping. Buildings are collapsing. We are resolving our sanitation issues in the region. My dear, why should we entertain this? Please. I'm not in the mood to talk about Pesa-White. I don't talk about failures. Please.
Right. But madam, were you contacted even before you were nominated for this award?
I wasn't contacted.
Okay.
It was on the day of the program. Because we were all told, 4 of us were told to prepare because no one, you wouldn't know who would be receiving the award.
Okay.
So we all prepared our mind that I'm going in for this. And let me put it on record.
Okay.
Before the God I serve, I never paid a penny for this award.
Okay.
I never paid a penny for this award. I don't know for others because I cannot speak to them. But for me, I never pay. Why should I pay for an award? My dear, if you don't recognize me, people recognize. I'm the MP for Christ's sake for the good people of Shai Osudoku. Did I pay them before they gave me the mandate, 3 terms to be an MP? It's because of the good work I did for them.
So that's my Member of Parliament for Shai Osudoku, Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Obiniwa Oklu, declared over the weekend as the best regional minister, and that award got a lot of people talking, and you've heard him respond, her respond there. Sami Yafi, I have Prince Mackay, he's CEO of Big Events Ghana. Prince, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, sir.
So these are the organizers of the event. Before I speak to you, I want to hear what the president said briefly in the statement that he issued.
Well, the president, in a statement and signed by the secretary to the president, Dr. Callistus Mahama, is just warning CEOs and ministers of state against such awards. And I read portions of the statement before you just do the interview, just a quick one. And he's just basically warning ministers of state and CEOs over such awards. His Excellency the President.
So let me talk to him, and then we come back and discuss further what the President's statement said. Mr. Marke, you're welcome again. So you organized this award over the weekend. It was for ministers. How long have you done this for?
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. So we launched this award, I think, 7 years ago at the Ashasi University, where when we brought a piece of land to have the Good Governance Hall of Fame for the MMDCs, for public chief executives, for presidents, and then what do you call it, the MPs and all of that. And I remember clearly this particular award was launched at the what do you call it, Ashasi University, and the MC for the occasion was OB of Asempa.
Okay. Now, so what do you look out for in the person who wins the award?
Can you allow me to finish, please? Just ask me a question.
Yes, I did. I think you have. My question was simple. How long have you done this for? And you said 7 years. And
yes,
I think the rest of the details you've given is enough.
Hold on, sir.
No, you can't tell me to hold on. No, I'm asking the questions, and I think I'm satisfied.
No, you asked me a question, so you should let me finish answering the question.
Yes, but I asked you a question.
I've not even answered the question, and you're asking me another question. And you know people are listening, so they should understand the whole issue.
Yeah, but you see, you explained, Mr.
So
Maki,
this year,
that you started this thing 7 years ago at Ashesi University. You've talked about that. So I wanted to proceed next because we do not have a lot of time. So I want to know who qualifies to earn which award at your ceremony.
So, as I was saying earlier on, is the Ghana Minister of State Excellence Honors. And it's the 6th edition that we just recently held. This is an award scheme that has awarded a lot of public officials in this country for the past 6 years and over. And I can mention some of the people who have received awards on this scheme. The likes of former Speaker of Parliament, Professor Aaron Michael Okwe, and then the likes of Professor Joshua Alabi, the likes of Dr. Matthew Pupu Prempe. There have been several people who have mounted this platform to receive awards on this platform. So it's not the first time that we'll be having this awards.
Okay. Now,
this is the 6th edition.
What do you look out for in a minister before you give them an award like the one you've done over the weekend?
We look out for people, or ministers, CEOs, and government appointees who are excelling in their mandate. Those are the people that will shortlist and award.
What key
And like I said,
performance indicator do you use to measure which minister deserves to be given what?
I would want to speak to the, I would want to speak to the statement that we just released. And the reason why you have called, and the reason why all this problem has come with the statement or the post that Professor White made, that is going viral and all of that. Those are the things I want to really speak.
I'll let you speak to those. I'll let you speak to those.
If you are not able to settle on those things, people really will not understand where this thing is going. So if you can speak to those issues, I am ready. But I'm not ready to talk about what informs and whatever when we have not dealt with the real issue on the ground. Those are the real issues. What prompted this?
Mr.
When we had a beautiful ceremony.
Mr. McKay.
When somebody claims that we have sold an award to whoever.
Mr. McKay.
We haven't sold any award to anybody.
I'll give you the opportunity to respond to what Professor Michael Kpesa-White has said.
No,
the statement made by the president
right now. So
yes, I would appreciate that you want the opportunity, but I would appreciate also to know what consideration went into which minister won what. I think we deserve to know what KPI do you use in judging which minister
on which you called me to interview me on. It was based on somebody's post that he put out there that is going viral, that everybody is talking about. And so it's just fair for you to allow me to clarify all those things before you even ask me for criteria. If you are going to ask me criteria ahead of what is actually the issue that we are dealing with, then I'm sorry, I will not be able to speak to the issue anymore.
Okay, so if I allow you to speak about Professor Michael Kpesa-White, then you will allow me to ask you about criteria. Very well. Professor Michael Kpesa-White says you sent a letter to his office and made an offer for an award, but a purchase of some tables for the award ceremony. What's your response to that?
That's very unfortunate. You see, as we sent a letter to SIGA, the body that Professor White is the CEO to. The letter that we sent to him was to ask for a sponsorship support to the awards. Not asking Professor White for sponsorship, but SIGA. Why? SIGA is the mother body for all the, the public institutions and for whom some of these CEOs were being honored. So we say, okay, why don't we ask SIGA if they could support us? So the letter got there on the 1st. On the 2nd, we had a call from their office telling us that they wouldn't be able to support the event because we came late, because we're having an event on the 6th, which was 4 days away. Then the person who called asked, is this tied to, if you are not able to give me the sponsorship, does it mean that Professor is not going to receive an award? And we said no. It is not tied to the fact that he has to pay for an award or he has to sponsor us before we. It was just a humble request that we made for his organization, not him, Professor White, for his organization to support the event. And this is a normal practice. We are an event company. Whenever we organize events, we send sponsorship letters out there. It's not the first time it's ever happened. Citi FM, you organize events. You send sponsorship letters to companies to sponsor you or to support you. And there's nothing wrong about that. And that is all that we did. Indeed, like I want to reiterate, we never asked Professor White, or we never wrote to Professor White in person to sponsor the award. It was SIGA as a body that we wrote to, where he is the CEO. So we don't understand why Professor White will take up this issue. So, for instance, if I wrote a letter for you to sponsor me, and you refused to sponsor me, or you didn't sponsor me, why then would you put a statement out there that I came to solicit for money for an award? That is not what I did, or that is not what the organization did. We wrote to SIGA for a support, and he said that it was too late and they couldn't support us. The person, whoever called that he sent to call us, said that it was too late, they couldn't support.
So his statement says your letter to him said he had been adjudged, quote and unquote, best CEO of the year. And you invited him to come and receive that award at an event to take place at La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. You are saying to me that if he produces that letter from your office, we will not see you offering him Best CEO of the Year.
We will not see what?
We will not see you offering him the best CEO or saying that he's been adjudged best CEO of the year.
Oh, of course. That's what I'm saying. That we wrote a letter to him. This is why the person, whoever called...
Yeah, you wrote a letter to him asking for sponsorship. But I'm saying, did you also write a letter? No problem. Did you say in your letter that he has been adjudged best CEO of the year?
We did.
Okay, and that's what he said. So how is he wrong if he said you wrote to him that he has been adjudged best CEO of the year?
That we said we were asking him to pay 50,000, and I'm clarifying that we did not ask him. We went for support partnership from the organization, and not Professor White.
Okay, now you also sold seats at your event. Okay, at least he said that there were some 25,000 and some 50,000 involved. What amount of money was involved in the organization of the ceremony for people who were taking part or participants?
What amount of money was what?
Did you charge people for
Never.
tables?
Nobody paid a dime to receive an award on the night.
Not to receive an award, but to have a table. At which table they will sit at the ceremony?
No single individual, no awardee, no recipient of an award paid for a table. No one.
Which people paid for tables, sir?
I'm saying no one paid for table. We, like I said, we read the letter on the 1st, and the event was happening on the 6th. He received the letter on the 2nd. 4 days away, we had made our preparations already. We had already paid for the hall, paid for the food, the buffet, paid for drinks, paid for everything. So why would we ask 4 days to an event? Why would we ask an award recipient or whoever to pay for a table? No, we have done all those things as a company, and indeed that is what we have been doing over the years. For the past 6 editions that we've held this event, no single awardee has paid for a ticket or a table.
Okay.
It's always been free.
He said that your letter to him communicated 2 options for him or to him: either a sponsorship package of 50,000 cedis, or B, the purchase of a dinner table of 8 at 25,000 cedis. If Professor Akpesa White produces his letter, we will not find his content in there.
Please call for that letter, because when Professor White received the letter, he posted the letter in several groups where he was being congratulated, and he was receiving all the fans accepting thank you and all of the saying thank you to all the people who were congratulating him. That was like the time that he received that letter. And we have proof of all of that. So if he says that in that letter stated that he should pay 50,000, call for that letter. Call for that letter where we asked him to, when we stated that he was supposed to receive an award as Best Performing CEO of the Year. Ask him whether, or call for that letter, whether there was any monetary thing in that letter about 25,000 or 50,000.
All right. Mr. McKay,
there's nothing like that.
Very well. I'm going to ask him, and if you could just indulge me, I have him on the line. So just stay. I want to ask him directly. So that's Prince McKay. He's CEO of the organizers of the award from the weekend. Professor Michael Professor White is the CEO of SIGA, the State Institutions Agency. He's joining me on the line to respond briefly to this comment made by the CEO, Mr. McKay. Prof, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. The organizer of the event has acknowledged that they sent you a letter in which they offered to make you best CEO of the year, but there was no amount mentioned in there for the purchase of a table or sponsorship, as you have claimed publicly.
Thank you very much, Omaro, and thank you to your listeners. I appreciate the opportunity. As you may have read in my piece that I put out on Sunday, I did mention that I received a letter claiming that I was adjudged the best CEO. And because the letter did not give enough details, I asked one of my staff to call them and find out a bit more. So the call was made in my presence. And the second letter accompanied the first letter. The second letter was asking for sponsorship. Obviously, we didn't intend to commit public funds to anything of that sort. Now, when the staff called him, and it was him that was called actually, he indicated that if we cannot pay the 50,000 as sponsorship, we should pay 25,000 for a table of 8. And I said, if the award was based on merit, and if I deserve it, why must there be any financial commitment tied to it? And he said, well, their protocol basically indicates that that is the process. So I asked my staff to ask him again, can I come to the hall? I will not sit down. I will just stand somewhere in the corner. When I am mentioned, I'll come to the stage and collect my award and leave. He said, no, that's not how they operate. And that the financial system must be tied. You see, we are talking to all Ghanaians. I have no interest whatsoever in putting out an information that will damage the integrity of any individual or institution if that information is not true. What would be my benefit to come and say the organization he belongs to or the organization that is doing the award was charging for tables? And so please, it is for that reason that I wanted to speak, to clarify that indeed those calls were made in my presence. The calls were not made by my staff outside of my presence and reported to me later. They were made in my presence. And honestly, since Sunday, he had sent us a lot of threatening messages, most of which insulting, others basically barraging, claiming that he will walk into Siga and come and deal with us. And so, if what I am saying is not true, why is he worried? I raise these issues because, principally, we have seen the mushrooming of Ponzi schemes. I don't want to believe that this is one of them. We need to be given awards. When I read the letter, I told myself, we have KPIs at SIGA. Was there any external party here to verify whether we are meeting the KPIs? I checked with some of our entities. Was there anything like that so that we can at least ascertain the means by which they assess us and are ranking us and giving us these awards? Most of them, in fact, all of them said there was nothing like that. So I became alarmed. And I became alarmed also because I had had previous encounters. And you know what, since Sunday when this thing broke up, several of the CEOs have reached out to say that, look, they also received similar things and have declined. So I think that my objective is basically to pour this thing out as a country so that we can be aware and deal with it. And thankfully, the president has basically taken it up. And I believe that this issue will be dealt with, decisively once and for all.
Prof, so just to be clear, there is no letter communicating the 50,000 or 25,000. That was in a phone call. There
is a letter communicating the 50,000. And after I said we cannot commit public funds to that thing, then he said, and I wouldn't say this because he was the one who was called. Then he said that if we cannot sponsor, then we have the option of buying a table for 25,000 CDs for 8 people to accompany me when I'm coming for that award.
Yeah, my question is premised on, and you have sent us the letter that was sent to you. I have read through. I do not see the offer of 60,000.
Yes, because it's a second letter that is in the office.
So there's an original letter that has the 50,000. I just want to be sure.
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
My question would be then, he says, and in fact, the member of parliament for our constituency, yourself and myself, has said that you have gone to put that letter on various platforms and received congratulatory messages. The letter from these Ghana Ministers of State Excellence Honors. If you indeed were not interested in going and you do not think your KPIs merited you receiving, why did you put it on platforms to receive congratulatory messages? If indeed that happened,
how did he even come to the conclusion that I personally put out that letter on any platform? As you would have noticed, I had no interest in the whole of that kind of award. I think my piece made it clear. We have been given a mandate. In fact, President Mama has been given a mandate to reset Ghana. We are lucky to have been recognized by the president to do work. Then I will go and be paying money to be recognized by who is bigger than President Mama and his recognition that he has given me. So the point I'm making is simply this. I am not involved in speculating anything on platforms. If he has seen it on platforms and people are congratulating me, ask him whether he has seen me respond to any of the so-called congratulations.
Okay.
The letter that was on the platform had the stamp of SIGA on it, and it was posted by you and your people. You received congratulatory messages where you responded thank you on all those messages. This is very
Omaro, I want to know whether he shares any platform with me.
You posted the letter with your stamp, with your corporate stamp on it.
Okay. Mr. McKay,
indicating that you are going to receive an award.
Mr. McKay, on which platform did he put this? Are you
now
yourself?
You come back saying that you did not what do you call it? See the basis for which you were selected, and so you are alarmed. That is very hypocritical.
Mr. McKay,
Mr. White, and I must tell you that what you are doing, you are going to expose yourself further.
Mr. McKay, what platform did he post this letter on? And are you on that platform with him?
I have screenshots which I can share with you right now.
What platform is that, please?
With figure on it.
No problem.
And he accepted congratulatory messages way before the awards. And indeed, all the CEOs who received the awards, nobody who received their letters. No single CEO posted their letter saying that they are earmarked to receive the award, except Professor.
Okay,
and after Professor doing that, he comes back turning around, behaving as a saint, behaving to be a saint. Why you indicated to everybody that you are going to receive an award, now you turn out becoming a saint.
Okay, Prof, let me hear. Makay, let me hear from Prof. Let me hear from Prof.
Okay, Omaro, thank you very much. So I think that Mr. Makay needs to understand that I haven't posted any letter. The fact that it has a figure stamp on it doesn't mean.
Mr. Makay, respectfully, if you can hear him.
How did that letter with the stamp
with
the stamp of figure?
Hello?
How did it get out?
Prince Makay.
The letter we wrote to you.
Prince, would you want to respect our listeners?
How did it get out?
Do you want to respect our listeners? He listened to you. Can you listen to him,
yes,
please? Thank you.
But he's not being truthful.
No problem. Let's hear him. Thank you. Prof, please go ahead.
Yes. Mr. McCain was saying that no CEO has put out the letter and it is only SIGA and whatever the case may be. I mean, ask him whether he has sent a message to one of our staff asking him why did this letter leak to the public. If he had nothing to hide and the award was truly genuine, why was he even concerned?
No,
that the letter was in the public.
Makay, please listen to him. Please listen to him. I'll give you a right of response. Otherwise, I'll be forced to take you off. So kindly listen to him. Thank you.
Okay, once you give me the right to respond,
Prof, please go ahead.
Yes. If the awards were genuine, there was nothing to be worried about them. Why was he concerned that the letter was made public? Because he sent messages to one of our staff asking how come the letter that they wrote to SIGA was made public. I'm now just curious. Why that message in the first place? And why is he concerned about the letter being public? And you asked me a question, he hasn't answered that. He said, on what platform do I share any platform with him?
Yeah, but
did he see those things himself? I think fundamentally you are asking an earlier question that it would be good for listeners that he answers that question.
I'll do so, but in response, he said that he has screenshots. And that in that screenshot, you are seen receiving the congratulatory messages, and that you even posted that letter.
That is a palpable lie. I wish this was a television so that he can show it clearly and openly to the cameras that I have responded to any single congratulatory message that came to me. I was the same person who went out there to write the opinion piece. Why would I have accepted something and go out and write an opinion piece? I don't know him. I don't know his organization. I don't know what they are into. I don't know what they do, except for this. So what will be my motive?
Okay.
And I will show the role of Ghana your motive today. Today, I'm going to tell Ghana the real motive, which is political. But we are now suffering because of your political games that you are playing.
What do you mean by that?
We sent a letter to the CEO of SIGA, asking him to come and work. He's been nominated to receive an award. How did that letter get into the public space that I have a screenshot of, which has figure stamp on it?
That is not the big issue. The big issue is you said you have evidence of him posting this letter on a platform with him taking the congratulatory messages.
That's what I'm saying. How did it get there?
No.
If he says that he's not the one
I
who
think the
put it out
question
there.
here is not how the letter got out. It is who got it out. And you are saying that he got it out and even went ahead to respond. You have those screenshots that you would share with us. Can you send that to the producer right now?
He's the one who got it out.
Or can you read the message that he wrote? Professor Michael White wrote on which page? On which page? Can you read that?
Let him read that from the screenshot.
On which platform? So don't send a screenshot. I want you to read the name of the group, the WhatsApp group, and then the time he put that post up and the comment.
That WhatsApp group is a constituency WhatsApp group.
Okay, which
I am not a politician, so I don't want to delve into that.
No, you have already
But
brought
I'm
it.
saying,
You see,
hold on.
No, you see,
My
you
brother,
mentioned it.
listen to
You
me,
mentioned it, and you have to prove it.
Listen
And
to me.
it is
Please
reputation
listen
we're
to me.
talking about.
Listen to me. We sent letters to a couple of CEOs. We have never seen any letter out
Maki,
that we have screenshots of. Hold on, please.
No.
Hold on. You allowed him
I've
to
held
speak.
on enough for you.
You allowed him to speak, so let me speak
No,
also.
just
You
hold
allowed
on.
him to say whatever he wanted to
Yes,
say.
but it does not mean
Let
I
me
just
also-
let
allow me
anything be
also
said.
to
Hold
say
on.
what I have to say
Maki,
before you
if
ask me your
you have
question.
any respect for our audience, I'm going to ask you the question and you answer. You have said that Dr. or Professor Michael White is the one who posted the letter to receive congratulatory messages, and that you have a screenshot of that. I'm asking you to share the name of that WhatsApp group. You say it's a constituency group. What constituency?
I just
And
gave
when-
you a clue.
Okay.
I'm not going to share the name of the group.
You will share the
Because
name of the group.
I don't have the right to share the name of the group.
But you have
It's
the
a
right
group
to
that is
mention
for-
that there's
it's
a group.
It's a group because I'm talking about it because it concerns him.
Yes. So,
And he's
so
on the
you
line. That's
want,
what I'm
you want
talking
to
about
expose
it.
him. A
But
moment
the
ago, you
group-
said you were going to
the
show who he
the
is.
group itself, I am not a member of the group, but I have the screenshot.
Can you read
Now-
out what is in the group?
Now, please listen to me.
No. Can you read out? Can you read out what's
Would
on
you
that group?
listen also to me?
I have
We
already,
sent
I've
a letter
listened
to
enough. Can you?
Professor White.
You've already made that point. I just want to know.
No, I want you to ask how. I wish that you ask how the letter got into the public space with figure stamp on it, where he posted and said he was going to.
Yes, Prof.
Is Mr. McKay aware that SIGA is an institution that has several staff and letters normally go through several processes and several hands at all? Why will he assume that if there is a letter in the public domain,
you are the one who
therefore
received the
means
letter.
that Michael White may have been the one who put it out? Why will he assume that?
Prof,
I myself saw the letter circulating at some point.
Okay.
I did see
So indeed, you saw the letter circulating.
Prof, let me proceed. Prof, let me proceed with this.
Okay.
What is your reason for not going to the ceremony to receive the award? Is it the case that you thought you did not merit it, or simply because of the cash that was connected to it that you rejected it? And what would you make of other appointees who went to receive it?
Okay, let me deal with the first two. First of all, I do not, in all honesty, think that I merit it. And the reason is fairly simple. I believe, and this ties into the second one, the reason is fairly simple. I believe that an award for public sector workers or appointees must be transparent in the way in which it is organized. For instance, I have no clue what the criteria for assessing and rating people are. I had no clue what KPIs were benchmarked for who is best and who is not best. By the way, you notice that about 5 CEOs were judged as best CEOs at the same event. I had no idea who the panel members for making the assessments were. I have no clue who the validator of the criteria were.
I have asked him those questions. He's refused to answer. He said he will answer later. So I'll ask him these questions again when you are
very well.
So proceed.
Very well. And so my concern was that this probably doesn't merit, the standard of an award for important institutions in the public sector. Then the second factor was when it was tied to monetary requirements. I personally asked my staff sitting in front of me, I said, Chief, can you ask the man on the phone that can I come for the award without having to sit down, have dinner, just when they mention my name, I walk to the stage, get my award and leave. The question was asked purposely to test whether tying the award to the financial team was actually something that was part of the game, or it was simply a case where you can actually go for the award, whether you made any financial contribution or not. And he made it clear, it was the same McCain that made it clear that their protocol requires that you must come in, sit at the dining table or dinner table and have a meal or whatever it is, and then you are called and you make you receive your award. And then he went further to say that you must come with 8 people for a table and pay 25,000 Ghana cedis for it. This were his own words. I couldn't make it up.
Okay.
There's no reason whatsoever to make anything up on him.
Last question. You said at a point you even offered to go and stand in a corner at the auditorium and receive it when your name is mentioned. You have also said to me that you did not think you merited it. So I'm trying to marry the two. Is it the case that
when I did mention that I wanted to stand in a corner, I think I also gave you a caveat that I asked that question to see whether tying the award to financial commitment is actually something that is part of what they were doing, or the award can be received without necessarily making any financial commitment. And his response basically made me realize that this was more like paying for public applause. That was all.
Thank you so much, Prof, for speaking to us.
Thank you, Mario. I'm very grateful.
That's Professor Michael White. He's CEO of SIGA. Let me go back to the... my name is not Omario, it's Omaru. Respect, Mr.
Omaru.
Prince McKay. My question to you now, I thought
that you would let him stay on for me to also address
No. That's not for you to determine. That's a production decision I've made. Don't worry, the listeners are listening. I have a question for you.
You know why? He just made a statement which he cannot substantiate. That I said that he has to pay 25,000 before he received his award. But indeed, on the night of the award, which even if you ask me right now, we could take photos for you right now. On the night of the award, we had Professor White. The program was hosted by Ghanaian Orchestra of Citi FM. You can verify from him whether Professor White's trophy was there and his citation was there or not. If indeed we tied it to his paying of money, why would he have his trophy and his his citation on the day of the program? Why would he have it?
But he himself was not there, right?
How would you know?
Okay, I have a question for you. Paragraph 1 of your letter to him says the board and technical panel of the 6th Ghana Minister of the Year Awards are pleased to inform you that following a rigorous assessment of performance, public impact, and innovation in public service, you have been selected and endorsed as the recipient of the Best Performing CEO of the Year Award. This is addressed to Professor Michael White. Can you explain what this means to me, that you have done a rigorous assessment? So how did you assess his performance, his public impact, and concluded that he's the best CEO of the year?
Omario, I cannot really get the
You
name.
can say Sanda, just say Sanda, or Cowboy, it's fine.
Sanda, okay, Sanda. Big Events Ghana has been organizing awards for more than 15 years. We are the same company that organizes the Radio and Television Personality Awards. We are not new, and we are not just coming yesterday. We have been organizing awards for the past 17 years and over. This particular one that we are talking about the same company that organizes the biggest gospel awards in Africa, that organizes the Ghana Celebrity Impact Award.
I appreciate your credentials and your history. Can you answer the question for me, please?
That organizes the RCP Award.
Yes.
And that organizes this the Ghana Ministers of State Excellence Award, which is in this 6th edition.
Mr.
And I mentioned already to you
Mr.
the people who have mounted the platform to receive this award.
No problem, Mr. McKay.
Now, let me get
in the specific case of Professor White,
how.
What did he do to merit Best CEO of the Year?
Okay, he himself has just said that he didn't think that he merited it. So we are sorry that we thought he did. If indeed he doesn't merit it, we are sorry that we got it wrong. As an organization, we are very sorry, and we apologize to Professor Michael White that he is not worthy to be awarded, and we wrongly got it in the wrong place.
Yeah, but it speaks volumes about your work that you did a thorough work and you thought the guy deserved it. And he says no, he thinks he does not deserve it.
He doesn't worth it. He doesn't worth receiving the award.
Yes.
That is what I'm saying.
Because of his own KPIs. And that goes back to the question I asked you earlier. So why do you think that he merited it? For which reason he thinks he does not?
So let me get to what you wanted earlier.
Yes.
We have some indicators that we look at. We look at strategic initiatives taken by the CEO or the Minister of State. We look at his leadership of reforms. We look at crisis management capabilities. We look at stakeholder engagement of these personalities involved, the ability to drive institutional performance, and more.
Okay, good.
So when we are scoring, we score them in percentages, and we look to shortlist those who are the top 3 or the top 4 to be announced with a letter to come out as nominees for the event.
Very well. Very well outlined. I appreciate that. Final question. What crisis did the Greater Accra Regional Minister manage based on the criteria you just stated, for which reason he became the best regional minister?
Thank you, Omario. The Greater Accra Regional Minister, and mind you, this particular year and this particular award that we held had a year under review of 2025 and 2026. Since she came on as a minister in Greater Accra, she has pioneered or pushed the agenda of making sure that Accra is lighted. Listen, Omario, Sandra, let me say again, with our schemes, we don't seek to celebrate perfection. Our schemes never, all over the world, our schemes never seek to celebrate or honor perfect people, because nobody is perfect. But we look at the way and manner you are making sure that you are excelling and making sure that you are doing your best to solve a particular problem. And then we see that, oh, does it better. And then we nominate you. That is how we do it. So nobody has been perfect in solving every problem. America, with all their technology, their money, their, what they call it, their development, they always have tsunamis, they always have floods happening and all of that. I think that Greater Accra Regional Minister will be the only person that can solve the flood in Accra. No, the Accra flood will not be solved today. But since she came, you and I can testify that she's made efforts. Based on the efforts, the excellency in making sure that the will in making sure that the good people of Accra will not be flooded, making sure that she gets people who are built on roads and on areas that...
Sorry, we lost Prince Mackey there. He's CEO of Big Events Ghana. They organized the award over the weekend, which award has got a lot of people talking after ministers of state were giving awards. The presidency issued a statement. Let me read one or two of the paragraphs. Paragraph 2 of the statement issued by the president's secretary, or the secretary to the president, Callistus Muhammad Doctor, says that in many instances, the organizations conferring such awards are largely unknown to the public, their credentials are unclear, and no transparent, objective, or verifiable criteria exist for assessing the performance of public officials. Consequently, the proliferation of such awards has the potential to undermine the integrity of public service, create misconceptions regarding government performance assessment, and expose the government to unnecessary public criticism and embarrassment. Now, it continues to say that public office is a solemn responsibility entrusted to officials by the people of Ghana. Performance in the office cannot be measured by privately organized ceremonies, self-appointed rating bodies, or commercial award schemes whose methodologies and standards are neither established nor subject to public scrutiny. His Excellency therefore directs that all ministers of state, chief executive officers of state institutions, and other political appointees refrain from participating in, sponsoring, endorsing, attending, or accepting awards from such organizations unless expressly authorized by the office of the president. Accordingly, ministers and chief executive officers are reminded that their performance will be assessed based on tangible outcomes, measurable impact, effective service delivery, prudent management of public resources, and the successful implementation of government policies and programs. His Excellency, the President wishes to emphasize that in due course, the Presidency will undertake a comprehensive review of the performance of ministers and chief executive officers. The findings of this review shall constitute a key basis for decisions relating to retention in office, reassignment of responsibilities, and any future cabinet or executive restructuring. Public officials are therefore encouraged to devote their full attention to the execution of their mandates and the delivery of results for the people of Ghana, rather than seeking or partaking in external recognition schemes of questionable credibility. That's a statement signed by Callistus Mahama, PhD, Secretary to the President. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sandamado, and I have in studio now Fafa Melody Potufe to bring us news summaries. Fafa.
Well, the Ghana Boundary Commission, Commissioner General Major General Anthony Nthem, is calling on people living along Ghana's borders to protect international boundary pillars to help safeguard the country's territorial integrity. He also urged border communities to stay alert and report any damage, encroachment, or suspicious activity around the pillars to local authorities and security agencies. Major General Nthem made the call during a 5-day assessment exercise in the Volta region to examine boundary conditions and the needs of border communities.
But this very coming here now is to carry out the operational assessment to find out whether these pillars are in place, whether they have any encroachment over the period. And Afajato region, district being one of the border districts, we are here to find out whether the pillars are still intact, whether there have been any encroachments over the period, whether there is anything threatening the security of our boundary. Yeah, my message to the good of people of Afajato Service. The pillars that have been erected to mark our international land boundary, when you see those pillars, they should protect the pillars for us. And then also, if there are any issues that they think threatens the security of our boundaries, they should quickly alert us. And then also find out, if there are any issues also that they have with the communities at the other side, at the Togo side, that they think that threatens their security as well as the peace, they should also alert us so that we sit down and then address those issues amicably.
You are the Commissioner General of the Ghana Boundary Commission, Major General Anthony Nthem. Now, away from that, the Mayor of Kumasi, Richard Ofori-Agyemang-Boadi, says sanitation guards, popularly known as Nsaman-Saman, will be deployed across communities in the metropolis from July to enforce sanitation regulations. The move follows continued indiscriminate dumping of refuse into drains that sparked ongoing arrest and prosecutions of offenders. Mr. Ofori-Agyemang-Boadi says the initiative is aimed at improving sanitation and protecting public health in the city.
Africa is a very difficult person to manage, We are punishing. So far, we've sent people, as many as 26 to court, and they are still recalcitrant, but we're not giving up. We will work to such a time that we'll be able to install discipline. What we want to do is that from the 1st of July, we're going to bring back the Saman activity that we used to experience here in Kumasi. Where this week, if we say we are in DHM, a team will be led by myself. We'll come there with police, with military, and then we'll stay in one community till 11 a.m. and make sure that we cover that whole area. The next day we'll come, we'll stay there till we realize that in a particular week, every household has done what is right and what sits well within the law.
You are the Mayor of Kumasi, Richard Ofori-Agyemang-Boadi. Now, the Transport Minister, Joseph Bukari-Nikpe, says the 100 new Metro Mass Transit buses recently commissioned by government are not intended to immediately resolve Accra's public transport challenges, he explained that the 29-seater buses have been deployed to regions across the country where they will replace larger Metro Mass buses currently in operation. Speaking on the City Breakfast Show, he said 10 of the high-capacity buses have already been retrieved, are being refurbished, and are expected to enter service from intra-city deployment next week.
He also, through that arrangement, is also putting out some high occupancy Metro Mass buses back to the intra-city to support the activities of the Ayalolo.
How many of those high occupancy buses are you putting, and when are you doing that?
So far, we have received 10 from the regions. Now that we have deployed to the regions, we have received 2. They are currently in the workshop for refurbishing and the preparations to deliver somewhere next week. They are over 60. I will have to cross there, but it's like they're about 64, and those ones you can stand in. So sometimes they can take over 64. On the deployment of the 100 buses, we are bringing back some of the existing Metro Mass high occupancy buses that were in the region. We are pulling them to Accra, refurbish them properly, and put them to support the Ayalolo services within the greater region.
You are the Transport Minister, Joseph Bukari Nikbe.
And that was Fafa Melody Potiphar bringing us the news summaries here on Eyewitness News. Let's proceed now and see how the business world is looking. Our head of business here at Citi FM and Channel 1 TV, Ni Latilati, is joining me in studio. Ni, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Sander.
What are the big stories in the business world?
Well, today there is a major shift in our local refinery industry because Citi Oil Refinery has taken delivery of 1 million barrels of crude oil, and this is a development many industry players have been anticipating.
Does it mean we'll get petrol for free? Or
no, not really.
But it will be less expensive?
Yes, it will be less expensive, and also the energy security of the country can be assured.
Okay.
You know, because of our historic, importation of crude oil, Tor being the only one. Now the government has revived Tor. It has revamped it, so that particular support is extending to private sector players, and that's where Citi comes in. So in the long run, we are expecting that fuel prices will come down.
Interestingly, Centi is just a stone throw from Tor, and I've been to Centi. I've seen a very huge infrastructure they have there. Anyway, give us the news.
All right, time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I'm Lee Latte. Let's settle for the details now. Citi Oil Refinery says the processing of locally produced Jubilee crude oil is a significant step towards strengthening Ghana's refinery capacity and supporting the country's industrial growth agenda. The company on Monday took delivery of about 1 million barrels of crude oil from the Jubilee field, which it says will help deepen local value addition and enhance the country's fuel security. Speaking on behalf of the chairman, executive general manager of Citi Oil Refinery, Eric Lane, commended the government for supporting the initiative, describing it as a major boost for industry and a demonstration of the potential of public-private sector collaboration in transforming Ghana's energy sector.
Today marks a historic milestone for Ghana. For the first time, crude oil processed produced from Ghana's Jubilee field is being delivered to a Ghanaian refinery for local processing, transforming Ghana's resource into Ghanaians' jobs, industry, and economic growth. This achievement reflects the vision of governments of Ghana under President John Dramani Mahama to promote value addition, industrialization, energy security, and local content development. On behalf of the board, management, and staff of Citi Oil Refinery, I express our sincere appreciation to the government of Ghana, our regulatory institutions, partners, and stakeholders whose support has made to this historic moment possible.
You heard Executive General Manager of Citi Oil Refinery, Eric Lane. There is a reaction to this particular story because energy analyst Benjamin Sia is calling for more local refineries to be brought on stream to refine Ghana's crude oil. Well, he tells Citi Business News the need to expand the country's refining capacity, arguing that additional local refineries would help maximize value from Ghana's crude resources and reduce dependence on imported petroleum products.
Delivering our
crude lifting, so our parcel from the Jubilee to Centio, is a landmark decision, also a very rational decision in terms of improving energy security in Ghana, and that is especially petroleum, where we are likely going to realize in future a stable price of petroleum based on this particular decision, and government must be commended. I think that beyond Centio, we must also look at allocating other budgets to all local refineries so that they can refine these products and then sell them locally. Because when they do, it is going to improve the local economy, because there's going to be an industrial growth, other backward linkages with respect to getting other employees to be able to perform certain responsibilities and roles to ensure the sustainability in terms of processing petroleum products locally.
Benjamin Insia is an energy analyst. Now, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, says there could be more room for a resumption of monetary policy easing if the impact of external shocks begin to subside. The central bank held its benchmark monetary policy rate at 14% during its May Monetary Policy Committee meeting, while tightening liquidity management measures in the banking sector following a series of rate cuts aimed at supporting economic activity. Here is Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, speaking to Bloomberg.
We are net importers of petroleum products, even though we export crude oil. So when oil prices are going up, that has a negative impact on us nonetheless. And so that has a direct effect on export prices. So far, government has managed it quite well. We haven't had a lot of impact compared to our peer countries. We are hopeful that the crisis will continue to be a short-term one. The good thing is that we built adequate reserves. We believe that our resilience currently is way, way better than a year ago. As you are aware, our framework decisions are based on the majority, majority opinion, on the panel, the 7-member panel, so it's not just my decision. It's based on what majority of the members of the MPC see. But based on the staff analysis, etc., based on our data, we think that, yes, there could be scope for a return to the easing cycle, but it's all contingent, largely to this global shock and how it continues to unfold.
Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama. You are still listening to Eyewitness News, and this is the business segment. Now, some stakeholders in the shipping industry are opposing the reintroduction of the Smart Port Note by the Ghana Shippers Authority after its implementation was previously suspended to allow for broader stakeholder consultations. Now, speaking to Citi Business News, the Executive Secretary of the Exim Frozen Foods Association of Ghana, Michael Obri-Eje, argued that the Smart Port Note would increase the cost of doing business at the ports and impose an additional financial burden on both importers and exporters.
Over the weekend, or in the last 2 weeks, we've had news that the Shippers Authority intend to, through the Ministry of Transport, reintroduce the same SPN. It has not had any modification. The same issues that we raised still persist. And it would interest you to know that it will cost the country between 187.2 million euros and 382.8 million euros annually. That's what we're going to siphon from the business community to a country, a company somewhere in Belgium. And this is Forex that is leaving our country and is not providing any useful solution to the business community. And so we are opposed to it. We've told the Shippers Authority that, look, if you go across the world, Nigeria attempted it, they have abandoned it.
Michael Obri-Eje is the Executive Secretary of the Exim Frozen Foods Association of Ghana. That's all for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I'm Ni Latte. Back to you, Sanda.
Thank you so much, Ni Latte. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. When we come back, we have Talk Back, where I get to hear what you think of the stories we've been sending you, or rather, we're telling you. Please stay.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Hello, good afternoon. I am calling from your bank. We are currently experiencing a system downtime, so we need to secure your account. Please, can you confirm your account number and your login details so we can restore access immediately? Yes, your username and password, just to verify.
Beware of fraudsters. Your bank will never ask for your login details, PIN or password over the phone. Shine your eye. Spot the fraud. Stop the fraud. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Association of Banks.
If you spot the fraud, you go fit to stop the fraud. Make you know they lose God.
Electrical say to me, Nancy no ma ye wo. If it's a man for ko so fake na begum. Yeah. It's a man motor cables ah. No ma scan. Check the cables no. Or your Nexus cable metal. One low smoke anti-counterfeit cables ni bia. So nye bia. Muntoda. E dey na ma wo use sa cables na. E ma ni dem sronko. Low smoke anti-counterfeit cables ah. E we make sure that the fake cables on your papa wire then say gentleman. Open whistle p toxic ah. No me jenu so huwa. Ono ponko table to make. Na say use low smoke anti-counterfeit cable. I'm making sure we so a creeping over. It's a triangle between a denuma. And when you low smoke anti-counterfeit cables, yeah, etra, and wonder why. What you must scan, check it there. So your original, offering Nexus cable metal. Nexus cable metal low smoke anti-counterfeit cable. Yes, Sasha. The yaja to be there. Only you got a cable. Oh, quack, that.
Nexus cable metal. Electricity no get leg. The Nexus cable metal cable they carry up.
Hello? Charlie, I'm at the library. Why do you keep calling me?
Question. What's the capital of Burkina Faso?
Ouagadougou. Bye.
Wait. Which planet is the hottest in the solar system?
Venus. Charlie, why all these questions?
See, I'm playing the MTN Swipe and Win promo. I might cash out some cool 1,000 Ghana cedis today.
Hey! 1,000 cedis! Shh! Charlie, what's the next question?
Join the MTN Swipe and Win promo today. Answer trivia, earn points, and stand a chance to win 1,000 Ghana cedis every day. Weekly cash of 1,000, 2,000, or 3,000 Ghana cedis. A brand new Hyundai Texan in the first 3 months, and the ultimate grand prize of 500,000 Ghana cedis. Recharge your account to qualify for the daily draws. To join, visit swipeandwinpromo.mtn.com.gh. Download the My MTN app or dial *5030#. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. TNCs apply.
MTN. You know that feeling when you're getting ready for work. Your shirt is still crumpled and the iron is just starting to warm up. Or you're late for the wedding and now about to blow dry your hair. Or you have just stocked up meat for the cold store and then suddenly, light off. Life just keeps getting paused. But what if your roof, yes, your roof, could keep things running in your homes and businesses? With EcoBank ASAP, you can switch to solar now by getting a loan to buy solar power systems with no upfront cost and easy repayment. Power your life through EcoBank's vetted solar vendors and lower your power bills over time.
Take back your power with EcoBank ASAP. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Charlie, trim I'm nice. I get some serious meeting. Allah, motion. But Charlie, no credit today. Oh, but you relax. More day.
Hey, what funny.
Yes, so I borrow small, sort myself out, I pay back. We move. Spot there. Charlie, you sure say you dey pay back? Yes, so that anytime somebody else they need them, more day. Be like I for can't borrow some more. Hey, you this boy. Don't go there and disgrace yourself. Allah, motion.
Responsible borrowing be the real flexo for today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. Borrow, sort them, pay back. Momo Day.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Yeah, welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. It's now time to hear from you. I'm putting the microphone in your hands and I want to hear what you make of the big stories we brought you here on Eyewitness News. This segment is called Talk Back. So, talk back at me. The health minister must eat humble pie and call the CEO back to work. The health workers should continue the strike as a sign of solidarity with the CEO. That's Aka Paul Jr. and Afomim talking back to me. Okay, thank you. This is politics, and this can only happen in Ghana. How does the suspension of the CEO and appointee of the government lead to a strike? It's egregious. That's Zilis Dwayne talking back all the way from London. Kennedy Onipayede sends his message and he says, I really like the way the health minister is restoring the integrity in our health sector. He must discipline any underperforming appointee who are sleeping on the job. Okay. Hamdan is talking back from number 9, number 10. Which one is it? Is it number 9 or number 10? Nyohani South in Tamale. And he says the minister does not commit any crime by suspending the CEO, even if the minister suspended him wrongly. Does it mean the staff should go on strike? Are they working for the country or the CEO? At the end of the month, it is the citizens' tax money that is used to pay them. Or is it the citizens' tax money that's used to pay them or the CEO's money? Okay. This one says, since his appointment, Honorable Akando has governed Ghana's health sector more with impulse than this sounds a bit offensive. Let me not read that. But he says, a man who once had to defend his farming background to health professionals now suspends a CEO for managing an overwhelmed hospital. When systems fail, strong ministers fix structures. They don't shoot messengers. This knee-jerk suspension reveals a minister more concerned with optics than outcomes. Okay. This message is from Upper East Region, specifically Boko, and is by Andrew Manga. And he says the health ministry and the Cath doctors should cease fire and resolve the unfortunate issue amicably for the sake of Ghanaian patients. Okay, Jones Aduboy is talking back from La in Accra, and he says this attitude of our health service workers leave much to be desired. They hold all of us to ransom whenever they misbehave. I think they should be aware by now life is irreplaceable, therefore they must be up and doing. Well, the Honorable Dr. Efrie thinks that they have been able to send a message by deciding to call on that particular strike. I try to question him as to what happens to people who've lost their lives. Unfortunately, we've not been able to get either the union leaders to speak to this evening, so that we'll put those questions to them. However, the strikes continue unabated, and the ministry has issued a statement, and we are told that that has even angered them further. But the sad part is that the patients who went to the hospital today could not access healthcare delivery, and that is really the unfortunate part. So 2 elephants are fighting, and the grass, being the patients, are now suffering. Okay. Daniel Akpaliok is talking back from Sandema, Bulsa South, that is in the Upper East region. He says, I respectfully call on the doctors and nurses at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital to resume work and allow their grievances to be resolved through dialogue. While their concerns may be genuine, the ordinary Ghanaian patient must not be sacrificed on the altar of an industrial dispute. The decision by the health minister to suspend the CEO was a decisive leadership action taken in the public interest at a time when the hospital had declared its inability to admit additional emergency cases. No responsible government can sit unconcerned while lives hang in the balance. Okay. Let me bring the next message. It's from Stephen in Accra, and he says, what seems to amaze me is the way NDC and MPP have turned our health sector into a political football game where they are always blaming each other rather than fixing the issue. As for the health minister, the least said about him, the better. Okay. This message says, it's such a shame to hear from such honorable members of parliament playing blame games while innocent people are dying. This is the reason why we are still at where we are today. Okay. This one says, what is the MPP man saying? If they had a solution, why didn't they solve it in 8 years when they were in office? We are tired of their attitude. That's Theophilus talking back from Tema. Baba Chairman is talking from Tamale, and he says, this government and its appointees are very clueless and incompetent to the extent that they now buy awards to hoodwink Ghanaians into believing them that they are on top of their jobs, square pegs in round holes, you say. Okay. Brandon from Takrady Technical University, TTU, he says, politicians should stop this throwing of blames and work collectively to solve this Cath issue which is at hand now, please. All right. Wills Yoga in Abutiateti in the Volta region says the politicization of health should be discouraged as it harms citizens. The NPP had 8 years to improve health care and should not undermine the NDC, which has been in power for less than 2 years. Constructive criticism is vital, but let's focus on solutions rather than political blame while prioritizing our health. All right. PK sends a message from Amasaman. He says, is the Greater Accra minister saying she has worked? Is it the filth in Central Business District, non-functioning street lights, the choked gutters? She's a failure. That's PK from Amasaman. Isaac Nendo from Tamale says, this is sad. Sick people at Konfanochi Teaching Hospital don't deserve to suffer. Government and hospital management must sit down and solve this. Lives are at stake because ordinary Ghanaians are the ones dying in the queues. Please, strike shouldn't be the first option. The appointees of John Dramani Mahama are undoubtedly delivering on their mandate, and their efforts are being recognized by well-meaning Ghanaians across the country. However, the growing quest by some appointees to be singled out for recognition over their colleagues must come to an end. Such tendencies have the potential to breed unhealthy rivalry and division within the government. The President has therefore acted wisely and decisively by directing appointees to desist from such practices. Governance is a collective responsibility, and the focus must remain on service delivery rather than personal glorification. That's Daniel from Sandema. This message says, these guys should be scammers. Why is Mackay anxious? The integrity of his organization should be investigated by national security. Okay, he has told you that he has a track record. He has awarded so many people in the past. This one says, this is the funniest imitation of Dr. Yuen's award ever. Oh, Ghana, we like joking just too much. That's Kofi talking back. BB in North Case says, it seems more like the Dr. Yuen game or just a plot to trap some important people into some scandal. The case must be investigated, and if any wrongdoing is established, culprits should be dealt with. All right. This award organizer thinks we, the listeners, are children listening to him. He tried all possible ways to answer most of the questions you ask him, which he knew can complicate him. That's Isaac in Kaswa, Iron City. Iron City in Kaswa. Okay, I don't know which part of. I know Kaswa Millennium City. I didn't know they also have Iron City and a few other places. This one from John Kekeli Bansa. He says, good evening, Sanda. Since his appointment, Honorable Akando has governed Ghana's health sector more with impulse than... Oh, okay. I think I read this already without a name. So that's from John Kekeli Bansa, who has sent this message across. And... okay, let me take from this other platform where you have been sending messages to us on 0539 986 996. In fact, on Twitter, which is now known as X, I have a message from Lipe Abaye. He says, my question for all those making the noise about the CAF CEO is, who appointed the CEO and why should doctors strike when the appointing authority asks that you stay off? Both KBTA, just Kolebu Teaching Hospital, and CAF should stop OPD services and concentrate on their tertiary services. The wise is dad says, hey, what is the regional minister staying in this? Why is the regional minister staying in this same Accra? Okay, that's a question. He says, is the organizer of the award that I blame. CFC says, I cannot believe what I'm hearing. The greater... So Oloto Green, that's the name of this place. Says, I cannot believe what I am hearing. The Greater Accra Regional Minister says she has tackled sanitation and flood. Wow. This one says, so you know we have issues to tackle and yet you went to collect awards. So that's a question to the regional minister. I mean, I've heard the regional minister, she spoke on Asasi Radio this morning, which audio we have played. She says she's done a lot of work, boundary disputes, chieftaincy issues, sanitation, and street lighting. I mean, she has made promises of lightening up Accra. Well, we have seen what is happening. And a lot of the comments I've seen from social media is that she actually drove through the floods of Accra to go and receive an award as the best performing minister. And the following morning, she went to North Industrial Area where a building had collapsed, ostensibly because it is not been put up properly, or there were no proper measures to check. The building should have possibly been pulled down without it having to fall on itself. And at the end of the day, 2 lives have been lost. So the regional minister goes to receive an award as the best performing minister and goes to supervise the pulling out of the debris of 2 people who have died as a result of a building that collapsed. 2 nights prior, people spent hours on their way home because the drains gave up when the rains came. And the point has been made variously that the rains always expose our incompetence as a country. When the rains come, the potholes emerge, the drains are choked, and so the evidence is seen by the water that is on the road, and we see people pouring rubbish into waterways. This is how we end tonight's edition of Eyewitness News. This just gone by segment is Talkback, where you've sent your views to us and we have read them for you. Eyewitness News will be back tomorrow at 1700 GMT or 5 p.m. on 97.3 Citi FM in Accra, and also be rebroadcast across the country on a number of affiliate stations. I am Umaru Sanda-Amadu. I was your anchor tonight. I was supported by Fafa Melody Potife, who brought us the news summaries. Sami Wiafi helped me with some of the analysis in studio. Neil Atelate brought us the business news. Produced tonight by Beverly London, Julian Odamiasari, Fred Tete Jabano, who's ahead of current affairs, Kobina Wilson, and Nana Tofo Boatin are head of news. Desmond Nyaku is the technical man on the seat today who helped us with the technical production. Edwin Kwakofi led his new media team to support us online. Thank you for listening. Have a good night.
City News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959.